In again. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Lena, and today I'd just like to share with you 3 simple basic meditation exercises. So let's get right into it. These ones can be done by anyone at any time. It's not about whether you're beginner or advanced. It's a very beneficial practice to just amplify everything you do. Obviously, it's encouraging and amplifying concentration and focus, as well as presence. So it helps us to de-stress, to be right here, to just enhance our human beingness rather than doingness. So let's get into it. So first of all, what meditation means, I guess, like when I first came across it, it always seems to be this big word. It's like related to spirituality or yoga or hippies, or some people think it looks like doing nothing at all. It's like this sort of mystery word. It sounds like so much. What actually is meditation? So basically, meditation is mindfulness. It's concerned with being right here. So if we think about like our mind functions pretty autosomatic, it's constantly busy, since that's the only function of our mind. It's constantly going on. It's like our lungs are more or less breathing automatically, whether we're conscious of it or not. So meditation is concerned with starting to control our thoughts more, gain more control in order to be more present. Because if we think about what we actually think about, our thoughts are usually concerned with either the past or the future, but not really with the present moment. So if we're right here, that means that we're not thinking about one or the other. We're just right here, and being here is best done through our senses, through feeling rather than thinking. So meditation simply means mindfulness. Being mindful is being present, being here now. So we're working on our human beingness rather than doingness. So these 3 exercises, I'm just quickly, very simply going to talk you through that, because they are again about feeling, not about talking about it, not about thinking about it. It's like doing it. So if you ever have 2 to 5 minutes you can take out of your daily life, try to implement it into your routine, make it a habit, like before you go to bed or first thing in the morning after you have your morning cuppa or whatever it is. So if you get a few spare minutes, just sit down and practice these exercises. Don't do all at once, like take one exercise each day or focus on one of them for a week, then the next, then the next. Alright, so basically we're working on the discipline of thoughts, or mental control. So how are we going to start? You can do this anywhere at any time. You want to be, ideally, you can either lay down, just make sure that you stay conscious. You don't want to fall asleep, become more sleepy or lethargic or lazy. So you do want to be right here. It's that's another thing. Meditation is not, it's a difference whether you relax just into it and sort of trip off and trip away, which you tend to do in guided meditations, which is a very good way to get into meditation in the first place. But ultimately, meditation, reaching this state of beingness, of presence, is to tune to that feeling, to actually control it, right? So there's a difference in tuning into it yourself through control or relaxing into it. When you relax into it, you're more or less getting taken into it. So what I mean by saying getting taken into it is that it's more or less involuntary, like you're being taken through guidance, through group consciousness, whatever it is. If you relax into feeling, you're not actually able to control it and bring yourself through willpower to that state. So I hope that makes sense. Alright, so let's get started. Like I said, you can do these exercises anywhere at any time, either lay down, or if you can stay upright, nice and seated. So find a for you comfortable position wherever you end up, whether it's laying down, sitting. You can do it standing if you're keen. Just make sure that you really want to have a nice and straight spine, meaning the natural curve of your spine, okay? So you don't want to hunch down, crunch all up. If you look at it, your body meditation is being present is opening up to all those different realms and frequencies. So to be a clear channel or conduit for that, you want to be nice and open. If you think about it logically, if you're like hunched down, crunched up, don't have a correct posture, your body's compromised and holds tension, then there's blockages where the energy, your breath, oxygen, all those things can't quite freely flow through. Alright? So try to stay as upright as you can to be able to bring relaxation to the nervous system. If you think of the central part of our nervous system running through the spine, the spinal cord, again, if you can free that up, keep it nice and straight, you bring relaxation and ease to your body to start with, which makes it heaps easier to sink into those states of presence if you don't have any tension distracting you. Rolling the shoulders back and down, so find your comfortable position here. And like I said, I'm just going to talk you through it, so you can either, after each explanation, stop the video, give it a short crack, try the exercise for yourself, or just take this, because it's not much, just take it as inspiration in your head and do it whenever you have time to do it. So exercise number 1, you can do it either with eyes closed or with your eyes open. I guess if you're first starting, it might actually be easier doing it with eyes closed because you have less visual distraction. So in exercise number 1, we just want to focus on observing your train of thoughts. As simple as that. That's why I want you to practice it rather than thinking or talking about it. So just try it, even stop now, try it for a few seconds, just maybe close your eyes, sit up nice and straight, start to observe your train of thoughts, meaning really just look at what's coming to you in your head. So the key is you want to try to expand your mental awareness, to a point where you're your own observer. You want to observe what's going on in your mind. Imagine like you're sitting on the side of a highway and you're just watching the traffic going past. You're not actually involved in the traffic, you just see it going past, slow or fast. You see the traffic jams and you just observe it, you watch it. You're just sitting there, oh yep, that's coming, cool, a red car, it's passing by. And let it pass by, alright? You don't want to, if you're sitting on the side of that highway, you don't want to run in the middle of the road interfering, because that's interrupting their flow and might be a little bit risky for you too. So you want to just sit back, stay where you are, and just observe without judging, without interfering, without getting involved. Just sit back, lean back, observe what's going on. Cool, big truck is coming. Oh, it's getting slowed down. Nice, it's passing by. Oh, this can't, even if you're tempted to jump in there, just hold yourself back, be like, alright, let it pass. Everything that's coming is going to pass by. So it's the same thing with your thoughts, alright? Just try to close your eyes, observe your thoughts, just observe what's coming and let it all go, allow it all to move through. Okay? And you don't want to, not getting involved also means to not judge it. So no matter what's coming up, like don't punish yourself in your thoughts, you know, like you don't want to sit there being all anxious and have tension about not having any thoughts, because it's a progress. It's not going to come like that your mind is just going to be super calm and you get nothing to think about, because that's not how we work. Like I said, our mind functions pretty autosomatic. Like the only function it has is to think. It's the main function, and well, obviously to you know our brain is sending other signals to the body, but it's just autosomatic process. So it's going to take us a little bit of practice to actually interfere in this process and gain more control over it, right? Okay, so be patient with that. Just starting first exercise, observing the train of your thoughts. Now, another tip, and that's for all those exercises, you'll notice as you practice it, a really good way to stay in this observing position and not start to interfere or get into your head is to work with what I said before, feeling, not thinking. So focus on your senses, alright? The easiest thing to focus on is your breath. If you're sitting, have your eyes closed, observe the train of thoughts, and you come into this observing position by just connecting with your breath. And you can just connect your breath, use it as like a thought distraction. observe how your breath is on an inhale, going into your nose, how it's filling up your body, how it's feeling through the body, it's filling up your abdomen, your chest, and then exhale, deflate the chest, deflate the abdomen, exhale out of the nose. Notice every breath, every inhale, every exhale, how it feels, how it rises, sinks down, how it rises up, alright? If you stay with your breath, focused on that, you're focused on one thing, and you'll eliminate the distraction in your mind. Whenever you feel like your mind is getting more and more active again, it's pulling you out of that moment, because you are in the moment. If you're focusing on the breath, you're focusing on what's going on right now. Whenever you feel like your mind getting too busy, pulling you out of it, don't get frustrated. It's super normal. Just become aware of it, being like, alright, I'm gonna go back to the side of the highway. I'm gonna go back and focus on my breath. Okay? So, great. Next exercise, number 2. Don't give way to any obtruding or unwanted thoughts. Okay? So, that's where we even need a little bit more of control and focus. So we want to focus on perhaps a particular on what we're doing right now, staying with the present moment. Say the meaning of this is, and this is an exercise you can practice all through your day, don't give way to any obtruding or unwanted thoughts. So say if it's again just simply being present. Say you're having breakfast with your kid, with your friends, with your lover, whatever. Make sure that you're right here, right now. See all those people in daily life, we're going to cafes and you look around and everyone is sitting there, couples are sitting there with their phones, although they're catching up with each other. It's sort of, where are you? What are you doing? You're not right here, you're somewhere out there. So just become aware of that throughout your daily life. That's practice. Practice in daily life. Practice while you're doing things. To not give way to obtruding or unwanted thoughts. Means like if you're having breakfast with your loved ones right now, be right here. Enjoy their company. Enjoy your food. Feel, don't think. Feel the situation. Feel what's going on right now. Feel the emotions you get while you're with those people. Actually taste and smell the food that you're eating, the drinks that you're having. Be right with your thoughts in the conversations you're having right now. And doing those sort of practices will long term also really improve your focus, your concentration, and generally just your mental control. Alright? So this is an exercise you can implement in whatever you're doing. Don't give any way to any obtruding thoughts or unwanted thoughts. Same, it's like everything has its time. Be present. You're having breakfast now, be at breakfast. Then you're going to work. No matter how you're feeling today, try to stay focused. Okay, I got this amount of work to do. While I'm doing this, this is where my mental focus is. I'm right here, right now. You notice how much more, whether that's work or study or your physical exercise, whatever you're doing. Like, you're doing your CrossFit workout now. Okay, be with your CrossFit workout right now. Don't give any space in your mind for any other distracting things, because that's just diffusing your energy. So that means it's also diffusing or compromising your performance and your efficiency. So if you can be here right now, be focused on what you're doing right now, don't give any way to any obtruding or unwanted thoughts, you'll be so much more efficient, focused, concentrated, and so much more switched on in what you're doing. Great. So that's number 2. Don't give any way to obtruding or unwanted thoughts. Number 3 is, I just call it this samadhi exercise, so we can talk way more about it, but just a short run through. So samadhi means to have, basically be here right now, be focused on this one particular thing, on one thing. Don't let anything else interfere or come into. So the idea here is to hold on to one single thought or one single idea for a longer while and suppress any other thoughts that are associating or obtruding, or just putting force on the mind. So say it works the best, and that's another exercise you can just do like the first one. Sit down and either do it eyes closed, eyes open. There's a number of different ways to do it. So you can either focus on an object if you want to do it with eyes open or closed, that's in front of you, just use an object, or you use a train of thoughts or an idea. So again, don't get frustrated. You'll notice it's, like I said, it's just how our mind works. It thinks. That's the main purpose of our mind. It will think. It will try to think, even if you tell it not to do so and not to get distracted, it will. So that's why we're practicing. That's the hard part about practice, and only practice makes you better. So also, there's some days are better than others. Some days are super, just horrendous when it comes to concentration, because it all depends on the state you're in emotionally, and that depends on what's going on in your life, so you might have an epic run one day, but you're super focused, super concentrated, and the very next day you can't even hold a train of thoughts for 20 seconds, and that's normal, that's fine, okay? So don't judge yourself, don't get frustrated, keep trying just a little bit longer every day. Give yourself a minute or two, 2 minutes, 5, 10, however. Just stay persistent, that's the key. Stay persistent with your practice. So this samadhi thing, a tip, what works best I find is, if you choose a train of thought, an idea, an object, whatever you want to focus on, something that you have an emotional investment in. So meaning something that is close to you, okay? So say if I use this to, if I just use a random object that doesn't really mean anything to me, or a random train of thoughts that doesn't mean anything to me, focusing on that is going to be way harder than focusing on something that's actually is important to me, has a meaning for me. For instance, I could focus on a loved one. If you want to choose an object, I got given flowers the other day by a friend. I would probably choose this little pot of flowers. I get it inside on my table, will place it in front of me and focus on those flowers, because I have an emotional investment in it, because I got it given by a friend, which was a super nice gesture after I got back from traveling. So choose something that's close to you, and that will definitely make the exercise a little bit easier. So that was number 3. Now, exercise number 4 is the absolute vacancy of the mind. So you energetically dismiss any thought that's coming upon you. Wow. So that's even a little bit more challenging. Again, remember to be kind to yourself. Remember to just be persistent, to keep going, to be non-judgmental. Being non-judgmental starts always with yourself, alright? Be understanding, don't get frustrated, be open-minded, be just willing to try. And again, it's not going to come from now to then like that. Persistency is the key. So this is, by far, that's why I would start with exercise number 1, and then start doing them all, mix them up, do them in your daily life. Oh, I got bitten. So, absolute vacancy of the mind. You energetically dismiss any thought that's coming upon you. Now, let's come back to recap on what really helps is to be present. You don't want to think. Sorry. You want to feel. Don't think in the present moment. Feel the present moment. You can't think the present moment. If you think about what you think, at the moment you start thinking about the present moment is gone, right? Because everything keeps changing. Life is a constant change. The only thing that stays the same is change. Alright, so feel the present moment. A good way of feeling, again, connecting to your senses, is connecting to your breath. And that's something you want to utilize in all those exercises. And especially in this exercise, if you can really tune into the feeling of your breath, that'll help you to attain this absolute vacancy of mind and to energetically dismiss any thoughts coming upon you. So, breath is another, we could talk about this for hours. There's so much to and about breath. It's very complex, simple, really simple breathing exercises focusing on breath. So simple, yet so powerful, and very complex as in what it can do for you, how it can amplify mindfulness, amplify everything you do, amplify your efficiency, your performance, your concentration, your focus. Your breath is the key to everything. So there's another video of mine working with simple qigong or breathing exercises, how to, forgot what I called the video, but I'm going to put the link into the description below. So that's really definitely useful, helpful to check out if you want to get a little bit of exercise in or practices in on how to tune to your own subtle energy. So working with the energy ball and stuff like that. But yeah, so focusing, working on your breath is a great way to do these exercises. So short recap. We get 4 exercises to gain control over our thoughts. The first exercise is to observe the train of your thoughts. You can set yourself a timer. I usually do 5 minutes every morning of this exercise, then 5 minutes of that, 5 minutes of that. Then I try to implement it throughout my daily life. So exercise number 1, observe train of thoughts and try to retain it. Number 2 is don't give way to any obtruding thoughts or unwanted thoughts coming to you. So that's mindfulness throughout daily life. Whenever, whatever you're doing at whatever time, whether it's a big task or small task, whether it's for a minute or hours, focus on where you're at and what you're doing right now. Number 3 is the samadhi exercise. So you're maintaining your focus onto a single thought, a single idea for a longer while, and suppress any other thoughts associating or obtruding with force on your mind. Okay, so samadhi exercise, hold on to one single thought, idea, object for a longer while. Again, you can do it throughout daily life whenever you get a breather, or sit down, do it with a timer. Use an object, use whatever you're emotionally involved in will help you, rather than using something that's completely irrelevant for you. And exercise number 4 is the absolute vacancy of mind, trying to just be and not think. Okay, key for all those exercises: feel the present moment, don't think, connect to your breath, use your breath, and really tuning to the feeling of your breath as a base of being present, as prevention of getting taken away by your mind into the land of thoughts and wandering off far, far, far away and everywhere else but the present moment. Okay, cool. So that's that. Again, the video turned out a little bit longer than I intended to, but I'd love to hear from a lot of you how you go with this, whether you end up practicing it. And yeah, please leave me if you have any other requests, if you have questions, comments, feedback. If there's any video requests you have, please leave it in the comment box below. If you did enjoy this video and found it helpful in some way, yeah, I'd love to know, or maybe show it to me by subscribing to my channel and not miss out on any other holistic health little tool sort of videos. And yeah, thanks heaps for tuning in, guys. See you next time.